Welcome back to the Hearth Edge, my friends. Whether you're new arrivals or those who've been weaving with me since the first shadows stirred, we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. And although you may sort of see me in the background, this is going to be podcast style. Hopefully we can get through this without any interruptions. So let's begin. For those of you who are new, I'm Magic Mom, your guide through this unraveling where we don't just face the dark, we dance with it. If you're joining mid-journey, this is Hearth's Edge Unraveled, our 12-episode shadow arc called Peeling the Veil, a mother's shadow descent. We've already peeled through 3 threads, 3 potent layers. In episode 1, we met the shadow head on. We released guilt and grief and joined together with a collective card pull. In 2, we stood at the brink of self-forgiveness, and boy, did we. And you walked with me through my own story in the before time of self-betrayal, and then upwards again through the healing cycles. In last week's episode, we called in the unseen allies, crows and spirit messengers, the ones with keys to decode their wisdom. And then we had a sort of live-ish stream reading, to unravel some of the stuck places. Tonight, my friends, tonight in episode 4, we are discussing the rage beneath the smile. Because once the whispers land and forgiveness roots, something holy and hot rises in its place. Today, our beginning invocation, so to speak, ties to the skies. We are airing this under the full moon in Gemini, floating through Sagittarius season like a wildfire, December 4th, depending on where you are in the world. It's a luminous opposition that's perfect for airing out what's been bottled, is it not? Gemini's airy truth meets Sag's arrow sharp honesty. Rage, the call to release it now before it festers. Let's grab our cards. Oh, and the tower falls out. Lightning struck. Its foundations crumbling. But wait. Look. The crown at the top. It still gleams. Destruction as a divine Reset, maybe? Yes. Let's let it speak. Pardon me. Now let's step into the unraveling. Picture this, it's 3 p.m. somewhere and the kids are finally asleep. You're cleaning up the crayons everywhere, possibly folding laundry you've been staring down for days. One sock drops and then another, and suddenly out of nowhere, your hands are shaking, your chest is tight, and a voice inside roars, I can't do this anymore. Not at the kids, not at the laundry, but at everything. The endless, the unseen, the weight that never lifts. That's maternal rage. Not the cartoon scream or what's very often stereotypically portrayed, but the holy fire that lives coiled in your solar plexus. It's like a dragon you've been feeding polite crumbs instead of the feast it deserves. And it scares us. It scares us because we've been taught it's ugly, unmom-like. But maybe it's the shadow's alarm bell, screaming, your boundaries have been breached, your power's being stolen. Enough already. But where does it live in your body? For me, it's very often that iron band around my ribs, right about, third chakra level, your fire center, right? And it starts clenching when I've said yes one too many times until I can't breathe and I feel like my ribs are literally cracking. Yours? Yours might be that knot in your throat, the one that chokes the words you swallow. Or maybe a burn low in your belly, a simmer turning to a boil slowly. But remember, my friends, rage isn't random. It's the body's magic saying, reclaim what's yours. Why does it terrify us so much, though, you ask? Because we inherit it silenced, of course. Our own mother's rage just became depression. The martyr smiles, the quiet collapses, the escapes into the bedroom. And we vowed different, didn't we? Until the first sleepless night. The spilled milk that wasn't just milk. The partner who helps but doesn't see. And suddenly we're afraid. If I let this out, I'll burn the village. Or worse, they'll see I'm not the soft one anymore. But here's the magic truth. Rage contained is rage weaponized inward. Self-betrayal's cruel cousin. Let it speak and it becomes rocket fuel. Not destruction, but discernment. So let me thread a story from my own loom. Way back to the before time again. I don't know. late 2015, maybe. Deep in the single mom, actually, it would have been early 2015, late 2014. Deep in the single mom trenches, so to speak, bills stacking like accusations, not making enough fucking money. And a friend, heavy on the air quotes, texts, "You're so strong. I can never do what you do." Translation: stay small so I can feel big. The smile emoji I sent back hid the freaking solar flare. And that night, alone, with a fire blazing, I screamed into a pillow and then nothing. It wasn't just words, it was just sound. Absolute primal rage. Another tower moment. Woo! But the walls shook this time, metaphorically. And in the echo, clarity. This rage isn't about her. It's my unmet needs howling for air. And so, the next day, I decided to set a boundary. Just one. That I needed space from texts like that. No apology. Period. And you know what? The world didn't end. And my dragon stretched its wings just a little bit. And from that one tiny roar, well, it snowballed from there, right? Rage transmutes into creation. So, how do we let it speak without the village inferno? 3 threads, simple as breath. 1, locate and label. Translation: next flare up, pause. Hand on your belly, ribs, throat, wherever, and whisper, "Hello, fire. What boundary calls?" And then name it. I'm enraged because I'm unseen. Because naming defangs it. Then, if you still need something extra, do the safe roar ritual. The pillow scream, or the car with the windows up, the woods in the middle of nowhere, like I use. And scream what's true. Not at people, but at the void. And follow with 7 deep breaths. In for power, out for peace. Towers fall, but you rebuild wiser, don't you? And then, during the Gemini full moon, whenever that happens to land for you, under that Sag season glow, write your rage letter. Unsent, of course. Dear world, partner, self, whoever, this fire is mine to wield. And burn it at dawn. Encompass Gemini's duality, rage, and its wisdom. Released. Finally. Do you feel a little bit of a spark right now? Let it flicker. You're safe here. Because rage isn't the enemy my loves. It's the forge where the soft mom meets the sovereign queen. So from thunder to torchlight, we've let the rage rise tonight under this full moon's gaze. Do you feel that? The smile that cracks open to something fiercer, more free. You're not just surviving the blaze, remember? You're the one who wields the flame. Let's take a quick map forward. We're halfway through the descent, hearts raw and radiant. Next, in episode 5, People Pleaser No More, dropping December 11th, right as the third quarter moon calls for cutting cords. We'll unravel the good girl chains with the Pluto square ritual to reclaim your no as holy ground. Because after rage speaks, boundaries become your throne. Your action this full moon, one safe roar. One single named need. What do you desire? And watch how the world shifts when you stop smiling through the storm. Your affirmation. Breathe it in and let it echo. I am the storm and the still afterwards. My rage is my right, my power, my birthright. And even though I roar, the stars roar with me. And from the depths of this shared fire, thank you, my friends. I can never tell you how much it means that you've chosen to walk this path with me. Your presence turns this whisper to wildfire. And our collective loneliness to a circle where we are seen, we are free, and we are the magic we've all been waiting for. I'm honored beyond words. So keep the flame close until the chords call again. This is Magic Mom from the hearth's fierce brink. Enjoy your sweet roaring unraveling.